to episode 347 of Nolaughtrack Podcast. I am here at Acme Comedy Company. Why? Because it's their podcast. I'm Justin Severson, the lucky guy who gets to host. And I am here with a first-time guest. I said it last week. We're on a nice streak here of first-time guests on the podcast, first-time headliners at Acme. I'm very excited to get to know Adrienne Iapalucci a little bit better today.
Oh, yes. Thanks for having me.
For sure.
Do I have to talk closer to this, or is it picking it up?
Well, we can. Brandon's listening right now and giving you a thumbs up. All right.
All right, cool.
Good. We're good to go. How are you today on a Thursday afternoon in August in Minneapolis? How are you?
Pretty good. Yeah, the weather's really nice here right now. I know everyone's saying it's freezing in the winter.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, you've lucked out. Actually, today's not sweltering, melt your body to a puddle of heat.
Yeah, it's like in the 70s, I think, which is like perfect.
Yeah, we're doing well. You don't know this, I don't think. I was at the show last night.
Oh, no. Okay.
So we're going to talk about that.
Cool.
Among many other things.
Nice.
In your career and whatnot, and what you're doing, what you've been doing. But I want to start with, do you have any history whatsoever at Acme, Minneapolis, Minnesota?
History in terms of what?
Have you been to Acme?
No, this is my first time here.
First time.
Yeah.
Okay. How about Minneapolis? Have you been to Minneapolis before?
Oh, no, this is my first time in Minnesota.
It is?
Yes.
Okay.
Never been here before.
Okay. How close had you been before? The Western New York?
Maybe Ohio?
Ohio?
I don't know how far that is from here.
Not very.
Oh, yeah, that's probably the closest I've been. Ohio.
Okay.
Why?
I'm just curious.
Oh, okay. I feel like you're getting ready to school me on something.
Oh, yeah. What you don't know? No.
What I don't know?
No, there's nothing to that whatsoever.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been here before. It's nice. I like it.
Yeah. Any expectations? What did you know about Minnesota? Like, what if a week ago it had been like Minneapolis? What do you know about Minneapolis?
I guess the only thing
No wrong answers, by the way.
No,
I promise you I'm not setting you up for anything to embarrass you whatsoever.
The only thing I really know is my boyfriend is a big Eagles fan, and I know that the Viking Eagles history, I know that. So that's what I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, so that's what I basically know about Minnesota.
Okay. Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
Yeah.
That apparently Vikings fans were not treated well during a playoff game.
True, but did you know what the Viking fans did in Philly?
Tell me.
Okay, so they went to, I guess, where the Rocky Steps are.
Oh, yes.
And then they dressed up, I guess, the statue like a Viking person.
Yeah.
So, like, you got to expect that's going to come back. Like, look, as a New Yorker, I've lived in New York my whole life. We know not to go down to Philly.
Okay.
And to their stadium and do that. Do you know what I mean? So I think that you guys are probably nicer here and thought that was going to be met with, like, open arms. But they were like, no thanks.
I got you. So, like, when a Vikings, like, when they go to Wisconsin and troll Packer fans, probably not going to get the same reaction.
Probably not, no. Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, even before I dated him, I knew, like, Philly fans are nuts.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So, like, that's why it was surprising to see it, because I watched a couple of things. I watched the news thing where the two women were, like, talking about it from here. And then I've also watched, but this is the thing. They don't show them going to the Rocky Steps and, like, kind of chanting.
I never saw that. I did see I saw the horns, the Helga horns or whatever they put on the statue. I did see that. Right,
but when they played that thing on TV, they didn't. Whatever clip I saw when they did it, they did not put that part first. So it just looks like Philly fans are going nuts and being jerks. And then you see that and you're like, well, that's kind of deserved.
Mm-hmm. I do remember, from when I was young, I remember one of the first things hearing about Philly and football was that that was the stadium that had a jail inside.
Does it? See, I don't know that much about football.
And I don't know if it still does, but at one point, I think they've changed stadiums since then and maybe didn't put a new one in. I'm not sure.
Idea.
But at one point, for arrests, for bad behavior during games.
You were going to jail.
Yes, without leaving the building.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
I do wonder if that's true or not.
At one point, I'm 99.9% sure that existed. Yeah.
Yeah,
You'll
I don't know.
have to ask your boyfriend.
I could ask him. I could text him.
Any first-hand experience? Depending on how old he is.
I could ask him.
Yeah. Oh, you can send him one right now. Yeah, you should. We'll see if he will he be available to reply soon.
Yeah, if I text him, sure.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, so we've covered that. So this is that's what you know about Minneapolis is Vikings fans reaction.
And also, it's pretty liberal here. I know that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that's what I kind of knew coming in here.
Yeah. Okay, so then you say that, and then how... So I saw your act last night.
Mm-hmm.
So then knowing like, oh, that's probably, it's a liberal state. I'm coming and bringing my act to a liberal state.
Right.
What are your thoughts coming in? Like, this is going to work, or I'm going to get some...
I mean, look, if I go to the left or right, there are going to be people who love it and people who don't. And I just kind of just have to be who I am, Like, I thought the show last night was great.
Yeah.
And there were some older people there, and they seem to have fun.
Yeah.
Like, I also think that, I guess people don't really know if they're just listening to this. Like, I am an edgier comic, and, I'm not doing it to piss people off. It's just the way my mind works, So I also feel like comedy's not a safe space, with everything that's so politically correct now. It's like, this is not the place that should happen at.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like that, like, it dilutes comedy if that's what we're going to do. Like, police everybody and what they're doing, and you can't say this and you can't say that. And it's like, well, that's not supposed to be here. That doesn't exist here. In comedy, it shouldn't anyway.
The crowd last night was a very full house. It was Insider Night.
Yeah, somebody told me that. He also, so he wrote me back. He said that was the old one.
I was okay, so I was right.
Yeah, you were right.
Okay, there you go. Did you get a look at the crowd before they came in last night? Before you went on stage, did you see the crowd at all?
I saw some of them.
Yeah.
Some of them are like, senior citizens, and they came to the show, and I'm just gonna still do what I do. Like. I'm sure.
I have to like. You made a comment at one point last night. I was sitting probably about 3/4 of the way back, so I didn't see the people that well. But I could tell. I could see the color of their hair, and you pointed out the guy in front had some suspenders.
Yeah,
on.
but you know what's funny? They were laughing.
I wish I could have seen their
faces.
faces.
They were laughing. Especially his wife that was with him was laughing at everything. She was laughing at the R. Kelly stuff. Do you know what I mean? So like, I don't know. It's just like when I'm old, I'm still gonna have the same sense of humor. You know what I mean? So like,
isn't that weird? It's unfair that I catch myself thinking that about like senior citizens. Like, oh, they're not. It's gonna be everybody's gonna be offended because they're old. Well, they probably had the same sense of humor 40 years ago.
I mean, I think. Yeah. I mean, you could see that some people, I'm sure, were clearly. I'd say the only thing that did not work last night, which I noticed, was the joke I had about shooting at my office.
Yeah,
that was the only thing I noticed where almost nobody laughed. Everything else. Got a laugh. Some things were bigger than others, but that was the only thing I noticed. So I guess it's like, you guys, like, is that a big thing here? Like, no guns and stuff? Because that was the only, I mean, look, I talked about R. Kelly fucking kids. I talked about a lot of stuff, school shootings, and the school shooting stuff they were with. But like that joke about office shootings, they were just not behind. So that was the one weird thing to me. I
mean, I can only think it's just because of there was just 2 shootings, pretty major
I guess that's
mass
true.
Shootings over the weekend. And
I know, but at this point, it's like it happens so often.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? If I tried to not do those jokes, I would never do them.
Right, and
But also, that's
something I was going to ask you.
It's like talking about something that's a real issue.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're upset by that, that's exactly why I'm doing this show, because it is a real problem.
Yeah.
And we're not doing anything about it. So
I like the way you put that, because people do say like. Everybody's got the one thing. I mean, you could sit here and do 2 hours
of
the raciest, most edgy shit. And somebody could be with you for that first hour and 59, and then that last minute you hit their town or their thing, and they're like, not this topic, not this one.
Of course, yeah. I mean, like, I have jokes about 9/11. I have jokes about almost everything that's offensive, and that's just. It's right. Something is always going to affect you. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. You could do a cancer joke. Somebody's always affected by cancer.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? Like, anything, even jokes about race. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone's affected by that. And it's almost worse because you're like, well, you're okay with making fun of everything else, but when it comes to your thing, now you're upset.
There was a moment last night you had a joke. I don't remember it exactly. It was something that had to do with race.
Okay.
And I was laughing.
I didn't even get that. I didn't even do a bunch of race stuff last night.
There was something. And I was laughing really hard. I have to tell you this. And I was here by myself last night.
Okay.
And normally I'm just, if you're with somebody, you might look and, do that connection where you're laughing at the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, that happened with me and a black guy across the aisle from me last night.
Oh, black people are never offended
where
by
we were laughing at the exact same thing,
black
just
people
as
are
hard as each other. It was so great.
The people that are mostly offended by jokes are white people.
Isn't that nuts?
It's white liberal people.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of women.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I've had problems with audience members, it's always white women. It's insane to me.
Yeah.
But like Hispanic people, black people, they don't care. You know what I mean? It's just like white people being offended on behalf of other white people. And that drives me insane.
Yeah.
Or not white people being offended on behalf of everyone else, not on behalf of white people. But yeah, like getting offended by everything and you shouldn't say that. It's like, let other people decide. Like it's arrogant to take somebody else's offense. Like, I don't know. I hate that.
Yeah. No, I
And also this audience is mostly white. Do you know what I mean? Like it's 98% white people in this show.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, yeah, we'll see how liberal they are. Because there's also a scale, I think, of being to the left. You know what I mean? Where like you're to the left but get jokes and you're not like on a high horse about everything. And then there's people where you're like, I can't talk to you either.
Yeah.
You can't talk to the right or the left. Like the ones that are like super to the, I guess, end or whatever.
They probably shouldn't be in comedy clubs at all.
No, it's weird because I have done some rooms that are leaning more to the right, and they are a little bit more loose with jokes, except if you go after Trump.
Okay.
But they're okay with everything else. It's weird. It's so weird to do comedy right now.
Do you do shows in the South at all?
Not really.
Yeah.
Florida, Miami, but I don't really think that's the South.
Yeah, no, Florida's good. Florida's Florida.
Yeah, like thing. Miami, that's mostly mixed. And
sure.
Yeah. I'm sure I would have, I mean, I've had people get upset at shows and, get kicked out because they're talking or they're offended by something. Like, that's not new to me. So I'm used to that.
I saw the video that you posted.
Oh, yeah. With that and
on Instagram
a
few weeks ago. Where did that happen, in Montreal?
No, that happened in New York.
Oh,
New York Comedy Club.
Oh, okay.
Those two girls weren't even offended by jokes. They couldn't be offended because they were talking the whole time. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. They were talking so loud.
What kind of night and show was it that night that they were just not paying attention?
I don't know. I think it was an early show, maybe 7, 8 o'clock. But the rest of the audience was amazing.
Yeah.
But they were just ruining it. And sometimes when people are talking, I'll just let them talk, especially if it's not too loud. But they were talking so much and so loud. It was overwhelming, and it's ruining the show for other people. And the funny thing about that girl is it's 2 white chicks from Ohio that now live in New York, and they're getting kicked out. And she goes, "This is racist." And it's like, how is that racist? You're like ruining a white woman's show, and you're getting kicked out.
Yes.
And that's racist. And you're like, how? It just blew my mind. But she was so drunk. That's the other thing, too. They were young and drunk. And at one point she says, I wasn't talking. And then at the end of it, she goes, well, I was trying to help you by talking. So, like,
I was trying to help you.
Yeah, she's so drunk. She doesn't, they're kids. They're like 22 years old or something. But, it is that, like, she couldn't just get kicked out. You know what I mean? She had to, like, talk about it. And she wants to try and get her money back. And she was just being obnoxious.
We watched it here. Maybe Brandon, one of the managers here, that you've I don't know if you talked to him about it all, because we watched it together here.
Oh.
And the reaction to the managers here are just like, oh my God, we see this.
Yeah,
way
he told
too
me
often.
that. Yeah, but that's how it always is.
Where the person completely, I wasn't talking. Well, I was talking. Like they'll admit they were talking, and then in the exact same statement say that they weren't talking.
Yeah, I mean. It's so funny because, like, that is a typical person in a comedy club that's getting kicked out.
Absolutely.
And, like, not even offended by jokes. That was the weird thing. She's just talking so loud.
What was the other thing that she said? We're both actresses.
Yeah, right. Actors should be helping each other out. And I'm like, I'm not an actress. Like, this is so crazy that you think we're doing the same thing.
You're just like me. I'm just like you.
It's also awesome in the video. I don't know if you could see it, but her friend...
Is it outside the...
Yes, her friend is giving me the finger. And I'm like, yeah, you didn't see that? And I go, I don't care. Why would I care if you're giving me the finger? It's funny because after she paid up, my friend, I was by the bar, and my friend goes, she's going to come over here and try and, like, talk to you. And I'm like, well, I'm going to shut that down because I'm not going to deal with her anymore.
Yeah.
And sure enough, she did. And I was like, you need to get out of here. If you put one hand on me, it's going to be over for you. So just get out. Yeah. But it's like people don't know how to act in comedy clubs.
Not always.
Yeah, I mean, not always. There are a lot of people that do, but there's just some people who are just out there, and if you're texting and not being loud, I don't even care. That's fine to me. But like I was at a show one time with my friend Sarah that I do my podcast with, and front row center, the guy picks up a phone call during her set. And not like, hey, I'm in a show, I'll call you back. Like, oh no, what time the babysitters are going to be there? Like talking, where you're like, just no concept.
I can't even.
I know. You're like,
even
you're like, my mind is so blown by it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ugh. Those people. Did you have any idea that? I think it's kind of amazing the timing. Well, of course, like we just talked about it, I guess, a little bit. That, like you said, the joke that didn't go over well. We just had 2 major shootings, and then you have the R. Kelly jokes. Mm-hmm. He just got charged. Did you see this? He just got charged.
When today?
In Minneapolis.
Did he get charged in Minneapolis?
For a 2, I wrote down the. So let me look it up here. I wrote this down here to have the exact.
I did not know that. I don't pay attention to what's really going on.
Well, that's good. Now I'm. That's
yeah,
why I'm
you're
here
gonna.
To tell you. This is a headline from August 5th, so just a few days ago, from People magazine. Legit, this was on the front page of the local paper here. It's national news. R. Kelly charged with 2 sex crimes after allegedly paying teen $200 to dance nude in Minneapolis in 2001.
Wow, in 2001, how much was $200? Was that like $300, you think?
Yeah, really. And I'm thinking about that. I'm like, because I saw this on the news the other night. It's like.
That seems like the least of his crimes, though.
For sure.
Just dancing nude.
But also, that's 18 years. That's like a baby is now an adult now. That's how much time has passed.
Too, yeah. That's
crazy.
Really weird.
That's baby to adult.
Yeah, that's so bizarre. I wonder all the other stuff that's going to come out, though.
Oh, I mean, I didn't. We talked about this on the podcast a couple of weeks ago with somebody else when Joe Zimmerman was here. This came up a little bit. I didn't watch the most recent R. Kelly Lifetime thing or whatever, but I did watch one a few years ago about the things about him locking people up and slaves and everything. He has not got the negative attention still that he deserves. Not even close.
But did you see his interview with Gail?
Yes.
It's first of all hilarious to me.
Uh-huh.
The fact that I think like what a great performance.
Uh-huh.
When you watch it, you're like, this is so nuts. Where he's like, which camera? Oh my God, what did he even say? I forgot now because it's been a while. And he's like, what camera's on me? What camera's on me? It's so great.
While you're looking that up, wasn't it your Twitter feed? I saw a video and it's what is it? It's some sort of little animal reacting.
Oh my God. First of all, I have to plug this because it's my if I was in jail and they said what my last wishes were, I'd want to just watch this video. It is like one of those grumpy dogs.
Yes.
And they have his facial expression synced up to R. Kelly, like he's watching it. And it's amazing.
It reminded me of when that 2 Girls, 1 Cup thing was going around 10 years ago or so.
Yeah.
And people were posting reaction videos on YouTube. You know, you couldn't, the actual real videos.
Yeah.
But people were making up reaction videos like with Kermit the Frog.
Yes, here it is right here. Me watching R. Kelly's meltdown. Look at this dog's eyes. It's so great. It's my favorite thing.
People have got to go to your Twitter.
It's on my Instagram. Go to my Instagram and the dog. Which dog is it? Because I always it's Ernie's Journey. I mean, so funny. I wrote to this guy. I was like, this is my favorite thing ever. Yeah, his level of delusion is insane. Mm-hmm. I think, though, what probably makes it worse for him is Michael Jackson's dead, because that also came out like a couple weeks later. And even though he's had scandals around him, I think if he was alive still, it might have taken some heat off of R. Kelly. But yeah, now it's just like everyone's. I mean, it is crazy if you watch the documentary, though. Like his own wife was like, I need permission to leave the house. And
yeah.
One thing he says, though, that's funny, R. Kelly, is when he's talking about it, he's like, these girls say they couldn't leave, and then one day they just get up and buy shoes. And I'm like, it is weird that some girl be like, I couldn't leave, and then one day she's like, I had the I don't know, like the moment in my head where I'm like, I should just leave, and she left. And you're like, I wonder how much of that is like people just saying that, or they felt like they couldn't leave. I don't know. It's just, that was one thing where I'm like, it seems weird. None of these girls are like, I could not leave, unless it's just like mental, where you think you can't leave. I don't know. I mean,
Those songs are powerful.
They were great songs. They're amazing songs. But, yeah, I mean, what a nut job.
Completely. I listened to some episodes of your podcast, and one of them...
Oh, man, you've done so much research.
That's what I do.
That's what you do?
That's
wow.
I take this seriously.
I see that.
And you talked about doing some R. Kelly jokes. People. That's why I said Montreal. Is that where it happened? Where people are going? He's not popular here.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's what it is. Yeah, one show I did, and this guy in the front was like, he hasn't had a hit since like the '90s, and I'm like, what did he say? He goes, no, he only had one hit in the '90s, and I said, how many kids does he have to fuck before people know how famous he is in his music? I'm like, he's fucked a lot of kids. Yeah, and also I think R. Kelly should go to jail forever.
Yeah.
But I feel like in jail, he will write another amazing album. In jail, like he'll have so much time to really focus.
Right. We'd be doing him a favor somehow.
We'd be doing ourselves a favor. He hasn't had a hit in a while, that's for sure.
That's true. Fair enough. Let's, since I brought it up here, let's talk about your podcast. Like I said, I listened to probably 4 or 5 of them even.
Oh, wow.
Including the one the brand new one, Glory Hole. I listened to that one on the drive over here.
Nice.
You have a lot more dick size talk on your podcast than we do on this one.
Really?
Yeah. But that's all right.
Okay.
There's a place for that.
There's a place for dick size,
needs to be
sure.
talked about.
Sure.
Definitely.
I don't even remember what we talked about because I was going away and then she's going away, so we did like 6 podcasts in a week. So.
Well, okay. Explain to me. You're recording
We record in my car.
For real.
We record in my car for real.
Always?
Always. So we have tried to do like meeting up in an office and stuff, but it's hard because she lives in Queens. I live in the Bronx. So we just kind of meet up around show times, like when we're doing spots, and then we'll just do it in the car. It's just easier. It makes the most sense. One time we did it during the day. We usually do them at night, but we did it during the day, and we were parked in a bus lane and didn't know. But all of a sudden, it just got really loud, and everyone's honking, and we're like, what the fuck's going on? Then this bus driver goes, you guys are in the bus lane. You're going to get a $200 ticket. And I'm like, oh, we did not know that. So we're pretty oblivious, too, to what's going on.
How did that start?
What, doing it in the car?
Yeah.
I think it was just
like, wait, let's do a podcast. Well, where are we going to do it? I don't know.
I mean, we also, for a while, did a bunch of podcasts and lost them. Like, it's been everything we do is like trial and error.
Okay.
So, it's just hard too because at that time she had a day job. So it's like it really was hard for her to come to the Bronx or if I go there, and it's just hard. So
sure,
the car seems to be the easiest thing.
I love it.
Especially if we're doing a Patreon now, so we have guests on. So it's just easier to go to their spot. They could do a half hour and leave. So we, just try and make it convenient for the comics that are doing it.
Yeah, when I saw all the names on the Patreon episodes, I'm like, oh, yeah, I want to hear this one. This one.
I mean, all those comics, we're friends with all of them, and they're super fun and nice. So,
one of the things that I heard you say, I hope it wasn't you and not Sarah, but no, I think it was on the podcast. You said something about, and you might have just been joking, but I don't care because I'm going to ask you about it anyways.
Uh-oh.
You said that as part of the Patreon, you would love to go to a meeting at a Scientology center.
Yes, I definitely want to do that.
So do I, badly, but never go back. I just want to check it out and go.
Are there
once and then leave me alone.
Scientology places here?
Yes.
Let's go Saturday.
I wish I could.
Why?
I'm crazy busy. I would love to because here's the thing. And let me tell you why I even have more interest in doing it because the building that they took over was coincidentally the Science Museum of Minnesota, like a place I used to go to field trips when I was a kid. Like they had dinosaurs and now all that stuff has gone into a different building. And now this building I have like this childhood connection to is a Scientology center.
How did they get
St.
it?
Paul.
Did they just pay for it?
Yeah, and I've never seen. It's a really nice building downtown St. Paul. I've never seen anybody walk in and out of it.
I wouldn't go by myself. I feel like I would get captured and couldn't leave.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would go, but not alone. Like if a comic wanted to come with me on this weekend, I would do it.
Yeah.
I got to see if someone will come.
No, I do. I wish I could. I really would.
Yeah, I'm amazed by that. Like, just you ever watch any of the documentaries like Leah
Of course,
Remini and
I've
stuff?
just about every one that's available. I read her book. I've read another book.
I mean, I guess R. Kelly's kind of like the same thing, where
Yeah.
you like abuse people and make them think they have no choice and keep them in, I guess it's like that same thing. What's it called? Stockholm Syndrome?
Yeah.
I guess that's what it kind of is. You feel like you can't leave.
Mm-hmm. You get some weird connection to your person that's held you captive.
Yeah, and then it is kind of, I don't know what it was. This is from a while ago, like when John Travolta and Tom Cruise, like, I forget what it's called when you're telling them your secrets and they're writing everything down. That seems like such a I mean, it's brilliant to keep these people in line, but also forever have to give you money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they own you and have you on tape saying probably awful stuff, which is nuts.
Yeah. There's the headlines about Tom Cruise, and do you see this in the last 2 weeks? Surrey
Probably not.
may not be my daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus. I don't know.
Brad Pitt was supposedly detoxed back in the early 2000s at a
detox of what? Like
at
all
a
his
Scientology center and almost died, they're saying.
Really?
Yeah. That was a story I just saw, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
Right before I came here.
Detox like he was doing drugs and alcohol, or detox like they held him captive and beat him down emotionally and mentally?
Oh, now I might not be able to find it. We'll have to go back. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find. Oh, yep, here we go. Close call. Brad Pitt narrowly escaped death after undergoing Scientology drug detox.
Jesus.
This is from Radar Online, so you know it's real.
I don't know. If I was going to detox, I would not go there. That would not be the place I'd want to detox.
Do you know what they do?
No.
Okay.
For a detox?
Yeah.
No, do you know?
Yeah,
I want to hear.
This is explained to... this story is from Sam Domingo.
Okay.
You know who that is, right?
Sure.
Placido Domingo, the opera singer's daughter, apparently.
Okay. No, I have no idea who that is.
Right. Domingo claimed she was a member of the church for a total of 22 years before officially breaking free in 2004. In the early 90s, she recalled Pitt's terrifying involvement in what church members called the sweat box.
Ooh.
He was recruited in the 90s during the time he and Juliette Lewis did a movie together. He explained that the program is where they basically load you up with vitamins and you sit in a sauna and sweat for 5 hours a day. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's... how are you supposed to detox? I don't think it sounds like that.
Yeah, she said at least 4 kids have died on these programs. He was in a sweat box. Yeah, sweat box.
Sweat box.
I'm not interested.
That's hilarious.
You have air conditioning in your car that you broadcast in. You don't have to do it. That's not the sweat box, right?
No.
That's good.
Yeah, we would not be able to do that.
I saw that you're going on a more research, Impractical Jokers Cruise.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on a cruise?
No, I've never been on a cruise. First of all, I thought it was going to be like 100 people, and then somebody told me it's like thousands of people.
Like they fill a ship.
Yes.
With their fans.
I thought it was going to be a tiny ship.
A dinghy.
Like 100 people, very small. And they were like, no, it's like thousands of people.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh. Yeah, I've never been on a cruise. That'll be interesting. I guess my concern is being able to like get away from audience. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's my least favorite part of comedy. Not because I think people are mean or anything. I don't like positive criticism or negative criticism. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's some comics after a show that are like, I'm going to go hang outside so everyone can tell me I did great. And I'm like, I'm going to wait till everyone leaves and then I can go home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wonder, everyone that does the cruise though said it's amazing. It's so fun. The fans are like super fans. They're there to have a good time. There are also kids that I think are allowed to go with their parents.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I think so. I looked it up. Because I was curious if there was an age limit. I think if you're with a parent, you can be a child.
Can you put together a set for the kids, please?
I'll try. You know how much kids love school shooting jokes?
Hey, I'm going to do this from your perspective.
Yeah, you tell me what this is lacking.
I saw on your, I'm looking at it right here, on your post about the cruise.
Yeah.
You did hashtag Joey Fatone. Are you excited to meet Joey Fatone?
No, I don't care. What's he going to do on the boat? Can he sing the songs without the rest of them?
Good question.
Yeah, I mean, if I was him, I would not want to go on that boat. I guess maybe for him, it's like a way for him to feel kind of relevant still.
Mm-hmm. Ryan Hamilton is part of that. He's been on this podcast many times.
Oh, Ryan Hamilton's great. So funny.
He's fantastic.
He will be able to entertain the kids.
True.
Yeah, he has a clean act, and he's super funny.
At my house, we we have a dishwasher, and to mark whether the dishwashers are clean or dirty, I've never said this on the podcast, but this time fits in perfectly right now.
What?
We have I have a picture of Ryan Hamilton on one side of a piece of paper and a picture of Nick DiPaolo on the other.
That's hilarious.
And that's what marks whether the dishes are clean or dirty.
And that's so interesting. Did you hear about, you probably did, DiPaolo getting punched at one of his shows?
Yes.
I wasn't there, but I just know he got punched by somebody at one of his shows.
Uh-huh. Are you surprised? He's been on this podcast.
I am surprised because I think even if you don't like somebody, you should never hit them. Do you know what I mean? If you don't like somebody, I don't know what happened if he went after her directly or not, but I still think you shouldn't lay your hands on someone.
No.
Yeah.
There are
so
other ways to take care of that.
Of course. I mean, also, if you don't like what he's doing comedy-wise, just leave. You know, I say look someone up beforehand so you kind of know what they do. If you're not into it, don't go. And if you go and you don't like it, just leave. I don't like people that are like, I'm offended by this and I need all of you to also be offended by this. It's like, no, just leave. These people are into it. But like hitting somebody, that's never cool. Especially, it is weird as a woman hitting a man because you know he can't hit you back.
Better not.
I know, but it's messed up because you're like, well, I'm making somebody super angry, but they can't hit me back because I'm a woman. And you're like, well, you also shouldn't be hitting him, though. So, I don't know.
Hitting's bad. No hitting.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you would think. I don't know. I mean, I also, too, he's, you know, offensive also. So if you're going to a show and you don't know that, like, you're an idiot, too.
Along those lines, I saw that you open for Ari Shafir sometimes.
Yeah.
How are those crowds and shows?
Amazing.
Like, must be perfect for you,
Amazing.
Right?
People are not offended by everything. Yeah, they're great. Like, that is probably a crowd that I could have one day or, you know, get some... Like, I've gotten fans from it. So, yeah.
I totally see that.
They're great. Like, his audience is great.
When I saw that that has happened, I'm like, oh, this is a no-brainer. This combo is a no-brainer.
Yeah, me and Ari are pretty good friends.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, that's cool, yeah.
He's very funny. Patton Oswalt, you've opened for, too?
Yeah, I opened for him a couple times in April. And, like, I thought maybe his audience would not be into me, but they're like... comedy fans just like comedy, you know. I don't think they're like, well, this is dark or this is that, you know. They just, if it's funny, they were into it.
Plus it's nice to, you know, plus if you're familiar with only one, you know, thing, it's nice to see something different, you know.
Sure. And they're just comedy fans. People who like comedy like different types of comedy.
For sure. What time is it here? We need before we are done, we have got to talk about the trolling that you do, and you read some on stage last night, and I looked through your Instagram and read tons of them.
I know.
Your trolling on dating apps is the fucking funniest.
I know. I got to start doing it again. It's
so good.
It's so much work, but it is good.
Holy crap.
I think what turned me off about it is just how dudes will just like the craziest stuff.
I'm a father. I have 2 daughters.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old are they?
13 and 11.
They're still young.
But
about to like probably be dating.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What do you even tell them? Because like they've seen, like, so this is the thing too. I mean, I went to Catholic school and I don't know, me and none of my friends, we weren't having sex and stuff early. Do you know what I mean? But now everything is on the internet. You can see everything. I just feel like kids grow up so much earlier. And that's insane. Like, I didn't see a live dick till I was like 18.
Right?
Yeah. And I had boyfriends and stuff, but it was just like, I don't know. I guess because it wasn't all out there like that.
So I can't even imagine having to.
Yeah, it's so crazy. There was a school that I used to live by. I used to let my dog run around in. And the priest said that kids, this is elementary school, were wearing color bands to let you know what level they'll get to with you.
Oh.
Like, you know, maybe purple is hand job or whatever their system was. But I'm like, that's so crazy. Yeah.
No, they just put it on their status on Insta.
On Instagram? Jesus Christ. What do you tell your kids?
I mean,
because I don't.
It hasn't. We haven't had talks about that stuff yet because nobody is dating yet. So
yeah, 13 and 11's young, but I don't think you can really tell kids like don't have sex till marriage. It's so unrealistic.
Right.
You know, like I think you just got to be honest with them. You know, and like if you're gonna have sex, do it. You know, these are the things you should look for, and you know, don't be alone with people.
Here's the thing.
So crazy.
Like, I think, I'm a good guy, but I'm also am a guy, and there was a time where I don't know if I was sleazy as some of the things I read on your Insta, but seriously, like,
of course,
it's your one trap. All you want to do is get laid,
of course,
and you will fucking put up with almost anything
I'm
to
sure.
make that happen.
I convinced a black dude on Tinder that I was a strong black woman. A picture, and the picture of the girl I'm using is like blonde.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like, there's no way he doesn't know I'm not black.
Yeah.
And he's like, you would be the first African American woman I've hooked up with, which is nuts.
Yes.
Like, that's so crazy. The things you can say and people are still in. So like, my whole thing was trying to get them to tap out. And there was one dude, no matter what I did, would not tap out. Like, I had to delete him because I was like, and I had my real picture on there at that time. I was like, he could just Google me. But, like, the craziest stuff. I mean, stuff where I was like, my mind was blown by it.
I'm looking at some of them right here. This one was one of my favorites. It starts off with, he must have said something to you. He must have asked you, how much does a polar bear weigh?
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
I didn't see this one coming, which I should have. You probably did. How much is it weigh? I don't know. And then he says, enough to break the ice. Oh, boy.
Jeez. I don't even remember how that one ended.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, then you reply, wow, did you think of that yourself? That's a great opening line. And then he says, not sure if you're being sarcastic or not. What are you doing tonight? You want to come over and smoke a joint? No, I'm not being sarcastic. You're the funniest guy on here. I'd love to smoke a joint. Unfortunately, I'm on house arrest and cannot leave for a few more weeks. Could you come to my place? Immediately, he's like, yeah, what's your address?
Yeah.
And then, would you mind doing it? And then,
is this the guy I asked to do shopping
would
for
you
me?
mind to do a little food shopping for me before you come over? And he says, like what? And then you fucking lay on the full barbecue for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Bananas, 2 pounds of meat, black olives, paper towels, lemons, chicken breast. It goes on and on. Kitty litter, any kind. And then he replies, give me money and I will. I'm not paying for it out of my pocket.
I know. But like, he would go do that. Isn't that nuts?
Yes.
It's so crazy.
To possibly get laid from a woman he's never met in person.
That is on house arrest. He doesn't even ask me why I'm on house arrest.
Who cares?
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Who cares?
Yep, you still have a working vagina.
Uh-huh.
Who cares?
That's just
I tell one guy that I was that I wrote all of R. Kelly's music.
Yeah.
And that I was suing him because he didn't like pay me. And then I said R. Kelly actually from that song, I Believe I Could Fly, said he went to the top of his roof and tried to fly and fell. And the guy was like, that's so crazy. I mean, but come on. You think I'm writing all of R. Kelly's songs and then he's going to the top of a house trying to fly?
I'm talking to the chick who's writing songs for R. Kelly.
I guess that's how that happens. I wonder how many people have done stuff like that where they're like, I can't believe this.
What a small world.
Yeah.
Hi, insert charming banter here. I'm Bryce. Hi, Bryce. Not sure if you read my profile. I'm not looking to date anyone with kids. Would you be willing to give them up? And he says, no, sorry, I can't do that. But I assure you, she's paper trained and everything, and it makes a difference. And then you say, that's good that she's paper trained. Would you consider putting her in a crate when I come over?
There was one guy where I was talking to him, and I said, I don't know where it is right now. And we were like, he's like, oh, I think you're attractive, whatever. I said, me, you know. And then I said, hey, who's the other guy in the photo? I want to know. He goes, that's my friend. I go, oh, I'm actually really attracted to him. Do you think you could talk to him for me? And he goes, fuck you.
I saw that one. It ends with, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. And you're like, I guess that's a no? So crazy.
Have you gotten suspended or kicked off any of these apps?
I got
what happens? Why? How?
So I think I got kicked off Bumble, and then I went on to Tinder, and I got kicked off Tinder. There was one guy when I was in Ohio. I remember this. and I actually talked to him again under another person's name, but he thought I said something about like needing a place to store drugs, and he thought I was a cop. So he reported me, and he thought I was a cop. He was like, "You're fucking, this is entrapment." And I'm like, "What?" Yeah, and then he must have reported me. And then, but I had friends who were like married, and they're like, "Use my account. I don't care. It's not their picture."
Yeah.
It's crazy world we live in.
I love that so much. There's one more thing that I want to talk to you about before.
Oh my God, this feels like I'm talking to the principal. Everything you say, I'm like, what is he going to bring up?
Adrienne, this is your life.
Oh, geez.
Do you remember this voice? No, I have one more thing. This is something I like to do where I'll look up news stories from someone's hometown. So
okay.
For you, I did, of course, the Bronx, right? And since you don't pay attention to new news stories, you probably haven't heard about this one. But if you were home right now, you still live in the Bronx?
Yep. I still would not know about it.
How close to the zoo?
I'm not that close to the zoo.
Okay, well then maybe you're safe. A venomous tree-climbing 3-foot mangrove snake is on the loose after it escaped its enclosure at the Bronx Zoo Tuesday night.
Jeez.
Officials there have kept the area open with just one little sign downplaying the danger. Dear visitors, a 3.5-foot-long mangrove is missing from its exhibit in Jungle World. They are mildly venomous, but not dangerous to people. How would you feel if you were back home and this news was out? Do you fear the mangrove snake? No,
I'm not anywhere near that.
Okay.
I fear more someone finding it and then doing something with it.
True.
Yeah, I didn't even hear about that.
Queensman Engelbert Balboa. Wow, that's a name. Queensman Engelbert Balboa, 33, was terrified when he heard the news. I'm scared.
That weird? Balboa is also a snake, right? Isn't it? No, I don't know.
Wait.
Is it?
Well, no, Boa.
Boa, okay, yeah.
But we could tie it into Rocky Balboa.
There you go.
We were talking about earlier. There you go. He says, "I'm scared. It can bite you. It can harm you. I wouldn't go in there if I knew." But wait, I was going to get to. Where did it go? The zoo is. This is what I want to tell you about. The zoo's been hot water this year over the treatment of its female elephant, Happy. Have you heard this?
No, but I'm upset already.
Yes. More than. Okay, let me go backtrack here. This is not the first time the Bronx Zoo has lost a snake. A deadly Egyptian cobra escaped in 2011 and wasn't found for a week. Do you remember that at all?
No.
Then here's what I was just saying. The zoo has already been in hot water this year over the treatment of its female elephant, Happy, who has lived alone in the Bronx Zoo for 13 years. More than 100 protesters showed up at the zoo in June demanding that Happy be sent to an animal sanctuary where she can live, coincidentally, happily with other elephants.
I mean, that makes me mad that this poor elephant is trapped there.
Yeah.
Are they going to let her go?
I don't know.
See, that's why I don't like reading news. I don't want to have extra stuff to be upset about. I don't care about the snakes, but I feel bad for this poor elephant. It's sad.
Happy.
I know. She's not happy.
But they gave it a name, Happy.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
No, it's not how it works.
Poor elephant. Now I got to follow Happy and her story.
I didn't mean to give you another thing to worry about.
Oh, that's okay.
Let's see. Is there anything else we did when you did Letterman?
Mm-hmm.
Which you did Letterman.
Yeah.
I saw that Howard Stern was on that same show. Did you get to cross paths?
No, I didn't.
Was it one of those where they recorded early and?
No, we recorded and he went on and then he had to leave and I went on. So it wasn't like hours apart, but yeah, I didn't get to meet him.
Okay.
Everyone asks that. I'm like, he seems like he'd be okay. Like, it's so weird to me. Famous people don't really do anything for me. I don't know.
Do you think that's because you grew up in New York?
No, because I don't think I've seen a lot of famous people. I just think, I don't know. I don't know. I guess everyone has like a couple of famous people they'd like to meet.
Have you ever been starstruck?
I don't know. Not while I'm doing comedy.
Yeah.
I guess when I was in the cellar, like John Mayer was there, and like I met him, and that was cool. But like I wasn't like, ooh, can I take a picture with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Venus Williams was at the cellar, and we seen her outside, me and my boyfriend, and he asked her for like a photo, and she said no. Well, she was just like, I'm, on my personal time or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I made a joke about him like going home and watching her get beat by that 15-year-old. But yeah, That didn't. I seeing her was cool, but like I didn't care. Yeah.
I worked. It was. Remember Evander Holyfield, the boxer?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
He was at an event at the Metrodome in Minneapolis. Here it was like a Twins game. Actually, it was the World Series back years ago. And I worked there at the time. I was leaving. He was leaving. He was right in front of me. And there was another guy in between us. And he was like, "Hey, champ, can I get an autograph?" And he turned around and was like, "Yeah." And the guy, he just starts signing something for a guy. Or he's grabbing a pen from the guy. Mm-hmm. Then I'm like opening up my bag, like, "Hey, can I get one too?" He turns around and looks at me and goes, "Nope." Gave the guy's pen back and walked away.
Wow.
I was like, I just fucking blew it. For me, or this guy, like, I'm not getting one. Neither is this. Oh,
wait, he didn't sign it for that guy?
Yeah, he stopped. He was like, "Forget it. Nobody." Yeah.
That sucks.
I know.
But that's not your fault. You just thought you were going to get an autograph too. I feel like if I met Oprah, I would be like, "Oh, that's cool." But other than that, I don't know. Yeah. I feel like Oprah, I'd be like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." I still don't know if I'd ask her for a picture though. Yeah.
You'd regret not doing that.
You think so?
Yes.
I don't know. For what? So people could see it? Who cares?
Profile pic on Tinder.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I could put a profile pic on there.
Who knows what that would lead to?
No, that's true. I could say that she's my aunt.
Yeah.
And everyone would be like, "That's so cool."
Exactly. That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Well, this has been fun. I really hope people continue to come out and see your shows here this week. We post this today.
Oh, awesome.
So,
where do you post it? On the Acme website?
Everywhere people find podcasts.
I don't know. Sarah does all that stuff. Listen to Vadge if you guys want to listen to a podcast. That's my podcast I do with Sarah, who's very funny also.
It is. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening.
You have a good, very catchy theme song at the beginning.
So she asked somebody to do it for us, and they came up with that, and I was like, "Yeah, that's cool." It was really nice of them. I forget who did it. I don't know.
Well, I was singing it to myself earlier today.
It gets stuck in your head.
Yeah.
Because even if I listen to it, I get stuck in my head. Yeah.
Listen to Vadge.
I know.
Listen to Vadge.
Crazy. Well, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adrienne.